Oi, guys, how are you? Good morning. It's Saturday. It's 10 o'clock, 23rd of May, and we have got our Dumpola. And I'm just going to quick update to see where I think things may go, turn around, etc. So this is the hourly. Um, this is the volume profile of this structure here, and you can see that we're currently at the value area low and finding support. This is not support to make a move up to here. This looks like to me just another. When you get these waterfalls, they do tend to just do that. Yeah, you don't get much of a. It's like when price goes up super impulsively. You're always waiting for that retrace, and it never comes. You basically get 382s. You never get 786s. 382s. You never get 618s. So overall, this is what I'm looking for. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to come into here. At that point, we'll see what we'll see. I like this whole area here as a support. Coming down, it was resistance for a bit. It became support. Coming down, tagging this support. I bet you that's close. Let's just have a look. I haven't actually seen what this is. Ha! Genius. 618. Bang. Wallop. Yeah, so that, I like this as the final move of this move down. And then, of course, we'll be looking to see how this comes apart. I'm expecting it to be 3 waves up, maybe the 618, maybe a bit higher, maybe back to that key level again, that November level, and then I'm looking for another 5 down to bring us back into the range, and then we will see what we will see. That whole thing is, could take a long time, so let's not worry about it for the moment. At the moment, we're just worried about where do we get our next trade, so we can keep the rent man at bay. Right, so let's dive in and look at this. So first of all, let's talk about the short that we all took, which we've been talking about all week, and we've been saying all week, if you've been listening to my videos all week, lose this here and we're going to drop. Not only did we lose this quickly, the timing was shitty for us because it was 8 o'clock at night. The alarm went off, and then we immediately took out these lows here. And what was beautiful was the way price came back and it retested this low, and it did it for like 6 minutes. It was super simple to get into, and you had and your stop was here. I mean, $500 away. Come on, guys and girls. This was a super easy short to get into. So, and now of course we're down here. So what we need to understand is what is this whole thing? Well, this is now looking like a wave 3 that is finishing. So this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that is the finishing of the larger degree wave 3. Let me just put it in a different color so it's easy to distinguish. And now I need to work out whether this thing has finished. I think this has got another down before it gets its wave 4 and 5. So the way I look at this is I've got structure down 1. There's my first 2. Structure down 1. There's another 2. Structure down. And I think this is another 2. I think I've got 1, 2, 3 wave 2s before I get my third wave, because here comes my volume, and then I've got a 4 and a 5 and a 4 and a 5. We're now building another 4, one more 5, and then we'll get our big 4. And the big 4 is going to be married to the big 2. I hope that makes sense to everybody. All right? It's how I kind of try and count the weeds of Elliott Wave. So this wave 3 has already extended down to the 618. So you know, it could be done. But I don't think so. I think it's going to roll over again. And so when it rolls over, we need to have a look at where we think we might get our retrace. So we just go up the time frames a bit. We can have a look to our left, see if anything interesting. Let's put a couple of lines on. So we've got one there. We've got one here. And we've got one there. Okay, these are all FSPs. Maybe I should have labeled them as such. That would have made sense, wouldn't it? Douche. Douche. And finally, Zadoosh. All right. So one of these 3 to give us our. This is gonna be a little bit maybe it does it. Maybe it just comes down one more time, and then it drives up. Right. Well, am I looking for the wave 4? So let's assume if it stops here, it really doesn't matter where you pull it. We're probably coming back up to somewhere around the daily open. Okay, somewhere around the daily open for our next to begin our next leg down, and our next leg down will no doubt probably come into this 73-72 zone here, and then we look for our bigger leg up. But I think that'll probably be a Sunday night, maybe early Asia Monday conversation. Where does this, if we suddenly go up now and we come into the 618, then whatever was down here is finished, and we're going to be looking for some corrective structures up. Okay. However, I don't think that's what's happened. So I still think we're coming into this one, maybe this green box here, one of these FSPs up and down. But let's wait and see. Right. So just quickly go back to our main. This just literally front run us, didn't it? On Thursday by a few $100. Otherwise, we would have all been short from up here. But you can see on this 4-hour chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come to the other end of the channel. 3 waves up, midline, 5 down. That is what I expect at the moment, and this really does chime with the way BTC is currently behaving, and the lack of volume, the lack of interest, and that no one is trading it, and the fact that there's a war on. So we could be seeing that. All right, guys, so that's nearly 10 minutes. It's kind of my limit on these things. Let's look for a couple more waves down. And then we can see, we can talk about a bigger long maybe for next week from these levels here. Alrighty, guys. Lots of love and tanny buys.